Hi, my name's Linda Willow Roberts, and welcome to the series that I've got bringing to you called How to Manifest. And I'm going to have guest speakers on quite regularly, and we're going to talk about each spiritual leader, their genre, and how they manifest. Today I've got Kerryn Slater. So Kerryn Slater is from Holistic Essential Therapy and Consulting. She is an international psychic medium, a Reiki master and teacher, an NLP and timeline therapy practitioner, a hypnosis practitioner, a speaker, a meditation facilitator and teacher, and a spiritual intuitive and counsellor. Please welcome Kerryn Slater. Hello, Kerryn.
Hi, Linda. Thank you so much for having me on. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful. I have so many questions, and thank you for coming on. I have so many questions from people asking, how did spiritual leaders and teachers, where they came from, how did they learn to manifest and what they did? And I suppose my first question to you is what were your early challenges? What was it that you wanted to change early on? What problems did you have?
I guess early on for me it was in childhood, and I just never felt like I fitted in. I was always very empathic, highly intuitive, and I thought very differently about the world. And even when I would have conversations with my friends, I even felt then that I was speaking a different language. Right. And so for me, my challenge very early was dealing with not knowing what empathic meant, what it meant to be intuitive, and just the way that I looked at the world was so completely different to everyone around me.
Right. Well, I can understand that, because that's sort of how I felt as well. I always felt quite different. So were there challenges that you had, like I had a very addictive personality early on. Were there any challenges that you had to change?
I guess for me, I did have addictive. I did have a lot of addictions, actually. It started out with sugar. That was just something that I was highly addicted to. And then my challenges were in my 30s, and I really was struggling so much to be here, to understand myself, to cope with the world and what was going on in the world. And I did actually turn to prescription and I guess recreational substances in order to try and alleviate or numb the pain, because I just didn't have the ability within myself to process what I was picking up from the world, everyone around me, and to cope and deal with my own emotions and what was going on inside of me at that time.
Yeah, I can understand that. So what was the first steps that you took to change your life? So where did you go spiritually? What were the first things that you did?
Well, I guess for myself, I did start my spiritual journey at 21. I actually went to my local spiritualist church and started psychic mediumship development there. And I spent 10 years there. Then I went on a journey of 10 years of dark night of the soul. And I laugh when I say that, because I feel that as humans, we often have this underlying belief that in order for us to be worthy of loving ourselves, accepting the love of the universe, we first have to suffer. So my reawakening, as I lovingly refer to it, was I was just in such a dark place, and I was literally on my knees to the universe, asking the universe to save me from myself, because I just didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know what to do. I just knew that I needed to change. My life needed to change, and I needed help to do that. And the universe responded.
Yeah. So how did they respond? What was shown to you? What was the first modality or thing that you walked towards?
So I guess that there was a couple of things that happened. I started a daily meditation practice. That was just 5 minutes a day. I had a series of incredible dreams that really blew my mind. One was that I was bacteria in the ocean, and even though I was completely alone in the ocean, I felt surrounded and safe and loved. And I just had this deep epiphany that that is who I was, even though I'm in this world of millions and billions of people and this universe, that I'm actually not alone, that I'm a part of the universe.
Yeah, you are.
And then from
and we
that,
are connected.
there were a sequence of events that occurred. And I also had, interestingly enough, a walk-in experience. So I had a workmate, I was going on leave, and he actually recommended to me a movie that I should watch on my holidays. And so I'd written it down on a pink notepad. And when I got home, I found it, I watched it, and that really moved me into what is this fifth dimensional world? How can I raise my vibration? How can I forgive myself? How can I come back to self-love? And interestingly enough, when I got back to work and thanked him for giving me the name of the movie and the author, he had no recollection of giving that information to me, and he
Wow.
didn't know who I was talking about.
Isn't that amazing how spirit just sends people to you, or messages or synchronicities to you that you just are aware of? Early on, I was ignoring spirit a lot, and so my spirit slaps from the universe are getting bigger and bigger. So how do you personally manifest? So is there a ritual that you do to help you manifest? What are your steps that you take?
So I have a few steps that I use for manifesting. I gratitude journal every day. And so if there's something that I'm wanting to call into my life, I actually write my thanks and gratitude in my journal as though I've already received it. I also have recognized over the years that, when you focus on what you don't have, that's what the universe continues to bring to you, law of attraction. And so I also will visualize using all of my senses, so the feelings, how it's going to feel, what it's going to look like, what it's going to sound like. And then what I do is I actually use my own timeline. It's not my own, but I'm trained in timeline therapy. So I actually use those processes to physically put that into my future timeline. And then the key for me is letting it go and trusting that the universe will actually bring it to me at the right time where I am energetically aligned to receive it and trust. So my favorite saying is, I don't know how, I just know I will.
Yes, and that's how I live. Isn't it lovely, though, to actually know and trust Spirit 100% that that's what they're going to bring you, what you need for your highest good. You said something interesting about the timeline. Can you explain that to me a little bit?
Sure. So timeline therapy works on the premise that, we all have, even though there is no such thing as we know within the quantum world, there is only now. However, we all have a way that we process time, past, present, and future. And it is a trance-like state that you go into, and you can actually place whatever you're wanting to manifest into your future timeline. So you take yourself out to the future. And there's a specific technique and a way that we elicit all of that. And it's about setting your goals as well. Really manifesting is about, this is a goal that I'm wanting to achieve or something I'm wanting to create. And so it's making sure that you're doing that not only for the highest good of yourself, your community, the planet, the universe. There's many things that you need to take into account when you're wanting to manifest something.
Yeah, and that's really a good tip to give people, because it is about the feelings, the smells, what it's like, and all of those things, and putting it out there into the future. You are an amazing meditation teacher. I love listening to you in meditation, and I wanted to talk to you about, just for very quickly at the beginning, tell us, what we've processes that you have done to get you to where you are for meditation, and to be a facilitator. But how can people use meditation to help them manifest?
Absolutely. So I obviously I started meditating every day. It was part of my healing journey. So I wanted to do the appropriate study, because it was something that had changed my life so profoundly, and I wanted to share that with others. So I have completed an advanced diploma of certification of guiding and leading meditation, and I have done that through the Australian College of Holistic Studies, and I'm also recognised with the Meditation Australia Association. And I continue to learn about that, and I guess continue to grow on my studies and my knowledge and my understanding. It's important for manifesting, and it's powerful for manifesting, because meditation brings you into the present moment.
True, yes.
And that is the most powerful state of being to actually create a better future for yourself, because most of us are reliving the past, and then because we're reliving the past, we're just continuously creating our tomorrow from what happened yesterday. So
Yes.
it's like we never give ourselves the opportunity to reset and to begin again. And so through meditation, and there's also many people want to manifest, but then they block receiving that because on some level they don't believe that they're worthy to receive it.
So how do you help them with the meditation coming to that point? So as a meditation teacher, do you take them through a meditation? What sort of meditation would you take them through to help them receive?
So for meditation, there's always mindfulness practices and a guided visualization, but regular meditation allows you to connect to your heart, and I always work with connecting to the heart.
Yes.
And when you connect to your heart, you allow yourself to open up to your own intuition, your own sense of spirituality, the soul aspect of yourself. I love to say that the heart is the doorway to the soul. And so when you're journeying to the heart and you're allowing yourself to receive healing in meditation, you're allowing yourself to accept yourself. There's acceptance in meditation. It allows space for all of our old beliefs and our old hurts and our old traumas to actually arise from within us, and within a safe space and environment with loving kindness and compassion for those emotions to be felt and to be heard and safely let go of in that beautiful sacred space. And in doing that, I have watched so many of my students over the years gain their own intuition in such a deep, profound way when that has not been their intention. It's been a byproduct. And to actually manifest things in their lives that they never thought they would actually be able to achieve, because it all comes back to self-worth, valuing self, giving yourself permission to ask for something in your life that you want to have, or even to give you the courage to speak what you're feeling and what it is that you're wanting.
Very true. And so if somebody at the moment was sitting there watching us and they were having some challenges in their life hasn't been fluent and they haven't been able to go in the flow and things aren't working out for themselves, what is the one meditation or thing that you would say to do? Is it to meditate every day, even if it's for 5 minutes?
Absolutely. Regular meditation practice, there's so much science and research that has been done. I know for myself, I used to just meditate once a week or once a month. A daily meditation really quickens your ability to connect to self, to connect to the energy of the universe. Start out with 5 minutes a day and increase that weekly. And what if and then go to 10 minutes and then go to 15 minutes and then go to 20 minutes. Because 5 minutes, while it's still beneficial to the body, it doesn't give enough time for the mental mind to settle and to calm. And so the longer that you can actually sit in meditation, then the more opportunity that you're having to be able to drop beneath all the mental mind activity and to drop into the heart and to drop into the stillness within.
That's amazing. And so I know as a manifester, I have to stay in the now. I have to use top spirit 100%, be synchronous, move with all the messages and things like that. For somebody to do meditation, do you think that it's beneficial for them to have a meditation teacher? And is that when you have somebody coming to do a meditation with you, is it like you're taking them on a journey to start at one point and then continue through different layers?
Absolutely, yes. I will say that definitely look for a qualified meditation teacher. That's not to say that there aren't beautiful practitioners out there that can take you on a beautiful meditation journey. As a meditation teacher, you're trained to actually deal with traumas or anxieties or any issues that might actually come up in a meditation, and know how to appropriately support the individual that's participating.
Well, you're a facilitator, aren't you? You're facilitating in their growth and in
Yes.
their life evolution, really, and the raising their frequency.
And holding space for them as well, which is so important.
That's so true.
I've
You're
lost
right.
the last of your question.
Oh, have you? So I just asked whether having a spiritual teacher, you take them through like steps to help them manifest. So and help them clear things, like you start them at one point and then they grow through that.
Yes. And so I always start my meditations with mindfulness practices, which is about, grounding, centering, coming back to the breath, allowing opportunity for the thoughts to come in and to go. And then I do take them through a guided experience, depending on what the collective need of the group is at that time, because I am intuitively guided as to what kind of a meditation. Some of those can be loving kindness, some of those can be manifesting meditations, some of those can be chakra balancing meditations. And so in all of those, what you're doing is the person participating in the meditation is allowing themselves to surrender to the grace of the universe in that moment and to the grace of their heart. And there is nothing more powerful than that, to come back to being in the present moment. And it's from that space that spark of light is ignited within them. The belief is ignited within them that they can actually have what it is that they're wanting to create in their lives, as long as it's for their highest good and the highest good of those around them.
That's exactly right. And it is very hard for, I suppose, people to find a meditation teacher, facilitator. Where would you send them to look for one? Especially in Australia or worldwide, where would they need to go to find a certified one?
So the Australian Meditation Association has a list of qualified practitioners and teachers throughout Australia, and the Australian Centre for Holistic Studies also has a list of qualified teachers.
That's great.
That's where I would go.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we all had challenges. There's always a reason for a spiritual leader or teacher to do the spiritual journey, because many, many years ago, I wanted to have a better life for my daughter and myself. And so I started doing different spiritual modalities, trying to make my life better. And so you just move through that. You're just looking for something. We all know that there's something way bigger than us, and that we're looking to find something better out there for us to improve our situation. Now, I'm a Reiki master, but you're an Ascension Reiki master. So how does being an Ascension Reiki master help you manifest?
It's actually profoundly increased my ability to manifest. The Ascension Reiki is the Lost Atlantean information, which is the connection to the Ascended Masters and the angelic realm. And so working with the angels and the Ascended Masters has really increased my ability to manifest. There are also some incredibly powerful symbols that are within the Ascension the Ascension Reiki program that are very powerful in being able to manifest as well, because what it does is it actually clears all of our limiting beliefs, it clears our auric field, it clears our energy field, and it actually aligns you to fifth dimensional energy, which is really exciting.
Yeah, that's great, and I love that sort of. I mean, my manifesting changed when I did theta healing, because I go straight into a theta brainwave, connect straight to the creator, and we have unlimited thinking. So there's all these modalities out there that can help you manifest, but you don't just manifest for your own life. What you change within you can actually change your family line, your lineage, your next generations, but it can also change your surroundings, the people that you're around, and it's just an ongoing thing. Once you start, you want to do it more. You want to be the best version of yourself. It ends up being like that, doesn't it? But the manifesting for somebody that is just starting out, what words of wisdom would you say to step them through, if they're having a rough life?
I would start with daily gratitude and having a daily gratitude journal, because when we're having a rough time, when we're in that cycle, it's very difficult to see what's good in our lives. And so by focusing what you already have around you that you can feel appreciation and gratitude for, then you are actually going to bring more of that into your life, because we all know law of attraction. What you focus your attention on is what you actually bring more of that thing into your world. And a daily meditation practice to help bring you back into your heart space, to give you hope, to give you that space to know that there is an energy force within this universe that loves and adores you and wants to support you, and that you're not alone. So they are my two first things that I prescribe to get people started, because you can't overload somebody. You need to start out small if you're in that place of real deep unhappiness.
And I think it's like, don't give up. Like, I had to manifest, and I did the gratitude list, and I did the affirmation list, and I did the feng shui, and cleared the clutter. But I had to do it progressively over and over and over again, and so that it actually stuck. You have to have a practice. It has to be that you are deserving, of a better life, for starters. And meditation and being in that heart space, like you said, is the starting point, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. It really is. I spent 12 months wearing a band around my wrist, and every time I spoke negatively about myself, because I was so determined to change the beliefs that I had about myself. And so each time that I had a negative thought about myself or somebody else, I would flick the band and say I love and approve of myself, to try and rewire the neural pathways in my brain.
Yeah, I know, and that's all it is, isn't it? And I know people say to me, because I do pick people up with what they say, their words, because a little word. The universe hears everything that you say, it feels everything you feel, every action that you take, every thought that you have. And so if you're using one negative word, change it. And that's perfect for having a band there and just flicking yourself to change your thought process, and it's a hard slog. We don't want to change our lives because we just think that it's fun to do. Most of us spiritual leaders have had a shit time at the beginning, and we're wanting to alter our behaviours and version of us just to have a bit better life. And, I believe that what I've done in this life, and what I've fixed and released and cleared in this life, is going to make sure that next time around I get a way better life.
I totally agree. I wanted to be the best version of myself that I could be. I wanted to create space for, my children that were growing up, that they could feel safe and loved. I just had this desire to, I guess really the push for me was to embrace all of my early life, you know, the intuition, the empathicness, the healer within, there was the push to fully embrace that, because those are the gifts that I came into this life with.
Yeah.
And everybody has something that's unique to them.
Well, I had a knowing. I always knew things, and I feel things, and I always felt alone. I could remember me as a small child sitting looking out the window and feeling like that I wasn't from here, and that was the most bizarre thing, you know. And when I called my soul family in, and you all came, it was amazing. It was just like, oh, I finally have people that are like-minded, that are feeling the same vibration, you know, and you all love me dearly as I love you all dearly, and I know that we all want to build each other up, and it's about support and oneness and wholeness and all of those lovely words. So you move away from people, don't you? So when you're moving into this aspect of manifesting and being the best version, the next step is people will fall out and situations will just remove themselves, and then the new lot come in, and that's amazing. I'm so glad that you came into my life.
Oh, I'm so glad that I saw you in the UK on our very first adventure together. I was very grateful and blessed to meet you. And that's so true. One of the things that I found was I changed so quickly and so rapidly once I had surrendered myself to the support of the universe, that I began to speak a completely different language to everyone around me. And that was a difficult time as well, because again, it brought up that, where do I fit? Who are my people? And I really spent a lot of time journaling and manifesting and calling in my soul tribe. And I did that, and I've done that again over, you know, with this new move to where I have, you know, I've moved again in my life, and I've called in my soul tribe again. Yes. And so having people who understand you and accept you for who you are is so important. But allow yourself time. It is a grieving process when the people no longer serve you, do drop away. But don't be disheartened in that. See that as an opportunity for new people and energies to come into your life.
That is so right. And it does. And, you know, sometimes evolving is such a soul thing to do. It's like you're brought into this world on your own. And when you connect into your soul, the journey, and I call it to the abyss, because even though it wasn't deep and dark and yucky, or sort of was, you know, I had to dig those things out myself, and I had to do it by myself. And everybody dropped away, and it was like, wow, you know, I really am on my own. But then as soon as you bring in your soul family, it's amazing, because there's support, and everything gels, and the synchronicities just flow, and it's just wonderful to be manifesting, you know. Each of these conversations that I'm going to have about how to manifest, are going to be talking to different spiritual leaders around the world about their modalities and what they do, where they've come from, how they've felt as they've manifested. And I hope that it gets to help people. And Kerryn Slater from Holistic Essential Therapy and Consulting, thank you so much for coming on and talking to me for a little while about you manifesting. So where can people find you?
So I can be found at Holistic Essentials Therapy and Consulting website, Facebook page, Instagram. They're the ones. That's where I can be found.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And so they can find you on your website. To everybody that's watched, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you've got something out of how to manifest, magical manifesting conversations. Thank you, Kerryn Slater. I really love talking to you today, and I love the insight that you put towards manifesting.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome.